proceed?
Yes.
Please state your name, spell your last for the record.
My name is Mickey Keenan, K-E-E-N-A-N.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I'm a detective in the Special Investigations Division in the Midland State Police Department.
Officer Keenan, what makes a Special Investigations Division different than other departments in the unit?
Well, what makes us different is the amount of cases that require us to work undercover.
Do you have any training in the field of undercover operations?
Of course, we all went through rigorous training.
What was that training?
Well, they filled our heads with everything we could possibly know about proper documentation, how to use the read technique, how to handle OIAs, and how to avoid inducing criminal activity.
What is the read technique?
This is just a questioning technique we use to assess someone's credibility.
How to use it?
Well, we just ask non-accusatory questions in order to make the suspect feel more comfortable in admitting the truth.
What are OIAs?
Well, this stands for otherwise illegal activity. It basically just means as long as we get permission from a supervisor, we can break the law as long as it furthers our investigation.
You know if your training was ever documented?
Yes, everyone who goes through training, we have documentation of it.
You know what that documentation is?
Well, since I'm currently undercover, the information isn't available to the public.
How many undercover cases have you worked in total?
I worked 11.
What were some of those past cases that you worked?
I worked everything from human trafficking rings to drug cartels, but no matter what the case is, my mission remains the same, to protect and serve the people of Midlands.
Officer Keenan, how are you involved in today's case?
Well, I went undercover in the Midlands Gambling Commission.
How long were you undercover there?
Well, I started the commission in July of 2013, and we wrapped up our investigation in April of 2015.
Why did you join that commission?
Well, our department had been getting tips of corruption in the commission, so they put me on the inside to see if I could make any sense of it.
Officer Keenan, did you find any corruption in the Midlands Gambling Commission?
I did, yes.
And did that corruption tie back to the defendant and Chase Covington?
Yes, it did.
Would you mind telling us where your investigation began?
Well, when I was working at the commission announced that they would be accepting new casino proposals and that they would vote on the best proposal in April.
Did either the defendant or Chase Covington work at that commission?
Yes, in fact, Chase Covington did. He was the chair of the commissions, which put him in a pretty powerful position.
What do you mean a pretty powerful position?
Well, it seemed like the other two commissions had very differing views, so they tended to vote opposite of each other, which typically gave Chase Covington the swing vote.
With that information in hand, how do you proceed?
Well, I placed myself on his staff to see if I could find any corruption in the voting process.
To be clear, did the defendant play any part in you joining that commission?
No, I joined just to do my job, which was to investigate the commission. At the time, Avery Bancroft was not a person of interest.
So when did the defendant become a person of interest?
Well, I heard a phone call between him and Chase Covington. I'm sorry, her and Chase Covington.
What day did that occur?
This was February 13th, 2015.
And what did you hear in that conversation?
Well, Mr. Covington had the phone on speakerphone, and I heard Avery Bancroft on the other line saying, I heard about the new proposal and I'd like to talk to you about it to, you know, grease the wheels.
Did Avery Bancroft become a person of interest at this point?
Yes, after hearing that, I knew I needed to further my investigation.
So how did you further that investigation?
I decided to recruit the help of her executive assistant, Corey Hyde. I knew Corey would be great to bring on because she knew when Avery was meeting, and that's how I was able to sit on a meeting with Avery Bancroft and Chase Covington.
What day did that meeting occur?
This was April 13th of 2015.
Who was a part of that meeting?
Myself, Avery Bancroft and her assistant, and Chase Covington.
Officer Keenan, how did that meeting begin?
There was a lot of talk about the proposal Avery was making, and then Chase Covington started bringing up money, and that's when Avery said, of course, it's always about the money with you.
And what happened next?
Well, I picked up a pen and a napkin, and I slid it over to Avery, and I repeated her own words, and I said, it's all about the money.
And what did the defendant do with that napkin?
Well, she began to write on it.
If I were to show you that napkin in court today, do you recognize it?
I would, yes.
To approach opposing counsel, which was referred to as Prosecution 1. Your Honor, do I have permission? Permission to approach witness with the same?
Yes. we have a copy of that?
I will give you one once it's done. What did I send you?
This is a napkin that Avery wrote on in the meeting.
Is that a fair and accurate copy?
Yes, it is.
Prosecution moves to admit prosecution wanted the evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
Adjournment of the courtesy copy.
Please,
Commissioner Question Bench.
please.
Permission to tender to the jury.
Any objection?
No objection. Oh, sorry.
Tender.
No objection, Your Honor.
What happened after the defendant received that napkin?
Well, she took the napkin and she wrote, yes equals $150K, and slid it to Chase Covington.
And what did Chase Covington do with that napkin?
Chase Covington looked at it, then slid it right back to Avery Bancroft. That's when Avery Bancroft scratched out the $150K and wrote equals $250K. So it then read yes equals $250K, and she slid it back to Chase Covington.
With that new number on that napkin, what did Chase Covington do with it then?
Chase picked up the napkin and just put it right into his pocket.
Did anything happen after that in the meeting?
There's a knock at the door and I answered it, and I saw a bellhop whose name tag read D. Del Sesto. He came in with a wine and cheese platter, and Chase looked extremely nervous at the time.
How did the-
Objection, Your Honor, to speculation.
That's fine. Your Honor,
The exceptions of the rule, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor.
how did the defendant respond to Chase Covington's concerns?
Avery just tried to reassure him, saying that the employees at the Black Bear knew how to be discreet, and Chase Covington immediately ended the meeting right then.
Were you part of any other meetings between the defendant and Chase Covington after this?
There was supposed to be one more on April 16th, but Chase Covington never showed.
And what day was that meeting supposed to occur?
April 16th.
Officer Keenan, do you know why you're here today?
I do. Avery Bancroft admits to bribing Chase Covington, the head of the commission, but she says I forced her to do so.
And what is your response to that?
I've been doing this a long time, and I would not endanger my career, but not only risk ruining a case that I've been working on for 2 years.
Officer Keenan, what are the results of your investigation?
Well, I found that Avery made a bribe to Chase Covington, but she also didn't show any signs of hesitation throughout the investigation. She could have stopped at any time, but she just kept going.
No further